What's up, good YouTube? It's your girl Jay Shanae coming at you. Hello, my darlings. It's been such a long time since I made a video, but I wanted to make one for the new show called, I was about to say Game of Thrones, but it's a spinoff called House of the Dragon. And I felt like episode 5 was so good, I had to make a video. Depending on how this video goes, I may do videos for 1 through 4 and continue to do till the end of the first season. But I'm talking about episode 5 right now. And I just also want to let people know I have notes that I will be looking at right here. Number 1. Number 2, I've never read any of George R.R. Martin's books. Not one word. So I don't know how the story goes. I don't. I have speculations because I love TV shows, and sometimes you can just predict things that's going to happen. Anyways, House of the Dragon season 1 episode 5 is called We Light the Way. So the beginning opens up where we see a lady on horseback, and she's making her way through, I believe, the Vale. It looks like the Vale to me. And she bumps into her cousin. Her cousin saying, "Hey, what's on the menu today? What you out there hunting?" She says, "Deer." He's asking if, "Hey, do you want some company?" She says, "Nah, I'm gonna be all right." She ends up galloping her horse and stopping for a man in the road that had a black cloak on. And we see that it's Daemon. We see that it's Daemon Targaryen, and we find out that that is Daemon's wife. We have been hearing him call her a bronze bee for 3 or 4 episodes, like she's ugly, and she's not. Talking about the sheep are more effable compared to her, and saying a whole bunch of quotes about her while he was in King's Landing, and they got back to her, and then she then regurgitated his quotes that he was talking about her to him. So then she's like, "Husband, are you here to consummate our wedding, husband?" And nothing was said. And then he's like, "Oh, you got kicked out of King's Landing. Your brother kicked you out, and you were kicked out of Succession over your niece, a little girl, this and that. I wonder why you haven't killed his kids yet, this and that." And then she starts to put 2 and 2 together that this dude is here to kill me. Well, about time she figures that out, it's too late. Daemon then does something to her horse where the horse bucks up and throws her off of her horse, and the horse ends up landing on top of her. Now, as small as she is, I was thinking she was going straight to heaven. I think a horse is like, 1,500 pounds or more? I could be wrong. I thought she was going straight to heaven. But she wasn't. She was just laid out. So he comes up to her, steps on her to see if she can move. She obviously can't. Seeming like she's been paralyzed. And, he walks away to leave her there to basically rot and die. But she had to throw one more zinger out there saying, "I knew you couldn't finish the job." And we all know that Daemon has been finishing the job issues the whole season. I don't know. I don't think he has problems getting it up. I just think he has problems finishing the job. That's his problem. So he picks up a big old rock, and then it alludes to him smashing her head. So then we get this cutaway, And we see the king and his staff and Rhaenyra and her staff. They're on a boat headed to Driftmark to see Corlys to make a marriage pact. We see the king is throwing up. He's having a hard time. He's just getting worse and worse every episode. I don't know what's wrong with him, but it's getting worse. So then we transition back into King's Landing, and we see Alicent is trying to catch up to her dad before he leaves. It's raining out, and they end up having a conversation, and Otto basically lays into her saying, you should have seen this coming, yada, 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 whatever. And she's like, I didn't see it coming. And he's like, that's because you trusted Rhaenyra and you trusted the king. And he's basically saying you cannot trust them. And he also said, you need to get your son, Aegon ready to rule. You need to get him ready to rule, because he's not going to live. The king's not going to live to be an old man. And when he does die, Rhaenyra's claim to the crown is going to be challenged. There's going to be a war that breaks out. And for her to have a stronger claim to the throne, she's going to put your kids to the sword, aka kill them, and may even kill her too. Who knows? So he's basically telling her, Alicent, wake up, open your eyes, play the Game of Thrones. You can't trust nobody but yourself. You can't trust these Targaryens. You got to trust yourself. She, of course, doesn't want her dad to leave, but he has to. He then gives her a hug, and I believe lights a fire under her to, wake up, grow up. Engage, this is your life too, and your kids' lives are on the line. So that was a good conversation to me. Now we're back with the king and Rhaenyra. I'm looking at my notes. And they were traveling, like I said, to see Corlys, to ask for basically a marriage pact. A marriage pact between their son Laenor and Rhaenyra. And they get there, and they are not greeted. The Hand's like, where is Lord Corlys? He's not here to greet us. In Game of Thrones, we've seen when King Robert Baratheon had came to Winterfell, everybody was out there. His whole family, the staff, everybody was out there to greet the king. But nobody was out there but Laenor and his boyfriend, that we find out is his boyfriend, Joffrey. They were out there fighting. So then his daughter comes out, I can't remember her name, and, says, Lord Corlys is inside. So he is making the king walk all the way to his throne room. Corlys' throne room. And his castle, I love the name, it's called High Tide Castle in Driftmark. So, like I said, they make the king and everybody walk to his throne room. The only people that was actually allowed in the throne room was the king and the Hand, though. Rhaenyra had to stay out, and she stayed with her female cousin. So, let's see. Let's see. Okay. Then we go back to King's Landing, where we see Alicent is outside, looking at some flowers, and ends up that one of the Hand's sons, his name is Larys, is outside, smelling flowers and stuff. And he then starts to talk to, Lady Alicent. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that the princess is sick. And, sorry. Okay. Oh, yes, he heard that the princess was sick. And she's like, I don't know. Allison says, I don't know what you're talking about. Rhaenyra is in Driftmark with the king. She's not sick. And he's like, oh well, on the day that your father was dismissed, um, I heard that the Grand Maester, which is the head doctor, came and bought her some tea at the request of the king. And I just assumed she was sick. I'm so sorry. I must have misheard. And once again, Allison said, oh no, she's not sick. But you said the Grand Maester bought it himself, and he said, yes. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. And you know, it was at the request of the king as well. So, but that's what I heard. And she was like, "Well, no, the princess is fine. She's good." And he's like, "Oh, that's so great. I'm so relieved to know that she was not sick. I'm so relieved that I was wrong." But we all know he was just planting some seeds in Allison for her to look up or go into the accusations that her father had about Renee, the princess, and also to look into what Rhaenyra said to her to see if it was true. So that's what that was, is leaving some breadcrumbs, leaving a little bit of seeds so they can bloom on their own, so they can grow on their own, so she can find out more information on her own. So he said, I'm just so relieved that she's not sick. So back at Driftmark, Lord Corlys, like I said, he made the king walk all the way to his throne room, and then Lord Corlys gets down off of his throne and greets the king, bows to the king, greets him, and then says, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss." And he's like, he looks at the king, looks at the hand, and said, "You, sorry for my loss." He said, "Oh, yes, Lady Rhea Royce is dead. She died, and it was I believe they said it was a riding accident, and then they said how good of a rider she was. So it kind of, everybody was saying, but not saying, it don't make sense that she would die in that way because she was such a good rider, and everything like that. So Lord Corlys had also congratulated Lord, I think his last name is Strong, on being the new hand, and he was saying how he seemed like he's very deserving of it. And then Lord Corlys' wife came out, says, cousin, comes up to the king, goes for those hands, and we all know he don't have that many fingers left. So she asks him, cuz, are you okay? He says, I'm well. Do you need a chair? No. I'm good. So, like I said, she brings up, how Lady Royce was the inheritor of Runestone, and they didn't have any heirs. Her and Daemon didn't have any heirs. So, basically saying, well, he's next to inherit it since they didn't have no kids. Then the king changes the subject and starts talking about why they are really there. And he's there for a marriage pact between, like I said, their first son, Laenor, and Rhaenyra. Sir Corlys, or I think it's Lord Corlys, says to him, well, I got a question to ask, and it's about succession. And he's like, well, what about succession? Princess Rhaenyra is my heir. And I hate that he has to keep saying it, but people just cut their ears off after they hear that Rhaenyra is supposed to take his job. They don't hear, oh, she's my heir. She's going to be ruling after me. And when I die, everything is going to her. It's like people don't want to hear that part. But, you know, Lord Corlys is, like I said, he's asking, his question was, how will the succession be handled? And he said, like I said, Rhaenyra is going to take over after my death. Everything goes to her. And when Laenor and Rhaenyra have kids, regardless of their gender, that was, well, no. Wait, that wasn't first. He was asking about succession, and he was saying okay, I got mixed around a little bit. So, yeah, he was saying that when I die, everything goes to Rhaenyra, and regardless of gender of who's born, girl or boy to them, whoever's their first, girl or boy, then that child will, you know, rule, regardless of it being a boy or a girl. So then Corlys said, well, within Westerosi, you know, Westerosi traditions, when, you know, the couple has kids, usually the kids take their father's last name. And he says, well, do you want the Targaryen name to, you know, die or fall off after Rhaenyra? And he's like, no, I don't want that to happen. So they come to a little compromise, and here's the king's compromise. The king says, okay, Rhaenyra and Laenor will get married. Their kids will have the last name Velaryon. That's, you know, Laenor's last name, Corlys' last name. They will have their last name Velaryon. But when it comes time for their oldest child, boy or girl, to ascend the throne, they will have to ascend the throne with the name Targaryen. So, after Corlys hears that, he likes what he hears, and he accepts it. He's like, that's cool with me. Fine with me. Then, we see Laenor and Rhaenyra on the beach. And in other words, she's saying, hey, we both like duck. Some people like goose, but you know, cousin, I know you like duck. I like duck. Let's make a pact that we will fulfill our royal duties, but we can do whatever we want on the side. We can still live the life we really want to live on the side. And that's the pact that we can have. I know your nature, and I got something going on myself, but she didn't say that part. And he was cool with it. They were both cool with it. So that was the agreement that they had. And then right after that, Laenor goes to his boyfriend Joffrey and says, hey, well, Joffrey says, I was dreading this day coming that you have to get married and, you know, do your royal duties or whatever. And he's like, hey, don't worry about that. Me and my cousin, we didn't already set up an agreement. He's like, okay, well, what's this agreement? He's like, the agreement is we get married, we come together, we, you know, make our babies, we got to do our royal duties and things like that. But when it comes time to do what we really want to do that's in our hearts, it's okay. I can do what I want to do, and she can do whatever she want to do. Now, I wish she would have said, you know, we got to keep that part of us discreet, but ain't nobody being discreet in this episode with their lovers. So Joffrey is putting two and two together and say, if she came up with this agreement, she must got somebody on this side too. She knows your secret, so we gonna have to find out hers. Cool. Cool. So we head back to Laenor's parents, and his mom says, hey, we know Laenor's true nature. How's that gonna go? And the dad's like, oh, it's something he's gonna grow out of. It's gonna be okay once he get that Targaryen piece of cake in the bedroom. That stuff's gonna fade away. And she's like, you know this is him through and through. That's not true. And we're putting our son in danger. Because when the king dies, we know that people is going to contest Rhaenyra being on the throne. And our son's going to basically be in the middle of that. And he was like, well, who's going to try and check us? We got dragons. Who's going to try to come at us? We got dragons. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody gonna try that. We got dragons, and really you should be the queen anyway, because you got skipped over. It was rightfully yours. And she had to shush his mouth and say, listen, husband, I've been hearing that for years, the queen that never would. I don't want to hear that no more. I've made my peace with it. I'm cool. I know what's going on. I'm cool. I don't care. I'm just worried about my son. I'm worried about my son and everything that could happen after the king dies. So they make their way. Now we're back on a boat, right? Oh, wait. We're back on a boat headed back to King's Landing. And Sir Criston Cole shoots a shot to Rhaenyra sincerely, saying, hey, we should be together. You should leave this life. We should get married. We could do what we want to do in Essos. We could travel. We could do whatever we want to do. Let's just be together. Leave everything behind. Leave the crown. Leave everything behind. Everything you don't like. Everything you don't want to do. Everything you've been complaining about. Let's just leave it behind. Love each other. Get married. And do what we want to do in life. And she says to him, I am the crown. I can't leave. This is, Aegon, he conquered for us to have this, and yada yada yada, and this and that. He's like, I don't want to hear that. I broke my vow of celibacy to you. I broke my duties vow of being a king's guard. I got a stain on my white cloak, and I freaking love you, girl, and this is what you gonna come at me with. And to myself, I was thinking, this is how boys are made. This is how they're made. They really love somebody. And mind you, this girl's like 19. I don't know how old Criston Cole is, but he looked like he's in his early 20s. Or a little bit older. And he's like, I done broke my vows. I done done this. I done done that. I thought we was gonna be together. And she really hurt his heart. I feel that all he could do is walk off. Oh, before that, she was like, listen, I also talked to my cousin while I was there, and I told him we can have an arrangement to where we're doing what we gotta do for the realm. We're making our children for the realm and getting the succession together for the realm and the kingdom and everything like that. But we made a pact that we can still do what we want to do on the side. And he's like, do you think I'm gonna just be your whore for years and years and years? That's not what I want. That's not what I want. I'm not gonna be a whore. you know, I feel guilty about all this stuff. I thought we could at least make it right by getting married, but he then walks off with hurt, and I'm like, yes, that's how the boys are started. Then they become a whore for real. They become a whore for real. And men, to the one that they be pouring and they really love and they pour their hearts out to, and to the women that ain't at that place or breaks their heart or whatever the case may be, that's it. They become boys. That's how they're born. So he just walks away from her, and he was crushed. So as soon as they pull up to King's Landing, Queen Alicent sees the king getting out the trailer, whatever, and he immediately like faints. Then we see Sir Christian Cole is being summoned, and he's like, I just left the princess. You know, what am I being summoned for? They're like, no, it's the queen. The queen needs to speak to you. So he's going up to see the queen. The Queen Alicent asks him to sit down right here. I need to talk to you. And he already looked like he's gonna break. Already. As soon as he sat down, I knew he was gonna break. But I didn't know how. So she is asking him, hey, do you remember the night when Daemon returned? When Daemon came back, and you know, there was a filthy rumor out there about Rhaenyra, and I basically wanted to know, do you know anything about it? Did you see anything about it? But before she could even get that out, he confesses. He's like, yes, it was me, but I soiled my cloak, I spoiled my duties, and you know, it was at her request though. But he still went with it. And he's like, you know, I'm so sorry. Instead of gelding me, which I looked up means castration, instead of gelding me and torturing me, I'll just ask you, please, just kill me. Instead of taking my manhood and torturing me, just kill me. I already feel bad about this whole situation. I'm sorry. Just kill me. Don't. And she then thanks Sir Christian and says, you may go. And he's looking at her like, okay, thank you. I wish he would have said, and don't talk about this conversation to anybody else. But I don't think he would, because he feels so bad. But he was, I hope that, because he did get it off his chest, that he won't say anything else about it. But yeah, she was alluding to Rhaenyra and Daemon, but he came out and told the truth, and you could tell in Queen Alicent's eyes that she felt so betrayed by Rhaenyra and maybe even her husband, but more by Rhaenyra because she straight up lied to her face. She told a half-truth because she did say, Daemon didn't touch me, Daemon didn't. But if we're being technical, he did touch you with his lips, he touched you with his hands, he just did not have intercourse with you. But that's how she meant it. And yes, she still had intercourse. It just wasn't with Daemon. So she told a half-truth. And Queen Alicent is opening her eyes to the truth of who people are, of them just looking after themselves, lying for their own self and gain and everything like that. And this is what her dad has been trying to tell you, like, everybody's out for self, you need to be too, and your children, because you're in a dangerous situation and you don't know it. It's time to grow up, wake up, all that. So yeah. So yes, he ends up leaving, and like I said, Alicent, you could tell she's disappointed. because she believed Rhaenyra's word. And, you know, it also kind of had to do with her dad, you know, being kicked out of his job as well. So a lot of stuff was riding on the word of Rhaenyra and her dad. And, you know, Alicent is seeing the truth. So, after that, we go back to the King's Keep, and we already knew about his fingers, but we didn't know about his arm. We see his forearm is covered in sores and pus and all that stuff. I don't know what's going on. But the Grand Maester is like, I'm going to go, you know, just relax, King. I'm going to go get your leeches, and you'll be feeling better in no time. And I guess an assistant doctor under him was saying, hey, if you don't mind, I've, you know, got something that could help you as well. Some herbal wraps that may help with, you know, swelling and inflammation and soreness and all that. It may help you. And the Grand Maester shot it down before the king could even answer. If I was the king, I would have said, I want to try any and everything. Sure, you can bring the leeches too, but let's try the wrap as well. But like I said, that got shot down, and the king didn't, you know, say cool, or yeah, I'll try it as well. So it just happened. I don't know if that Grand Maester is out to really, I don't know if he really know what he's doing, or he's just making the situation worse, or he's trying to kill him in a slow way, because if he was to kill him abruptly, it could come back to the Grand Maester that he killed the king. But I don't know what his intentions are, but I don't see why he couldn't allow the wraps. So the assistant doctor then gives the hand, or I think it was the king, something for the king to drink for, you know, help him sleep or whatever. And then he leaves. The king first asks, where's the queen at? Because we've seen in a couple episodes when they were working on him, they were kind of a little rough with him. And Alicent told everybody to get out. And she was gently, you know, helping his wounds and stuff like that. So it was noticeable that Alicent wasn't there. And probably, of course, we know why she's not there, because she's hurt. She's reevaluating things. She's thinking about things, and she don't want to be around the king, or probably even Rhaenyra at the time. So then he asks the hand, you know, am I a good king? Will there be songs sung about me? You know, I haven't conquered anything. I haven't lost any great battles. I haven't had no trials and tribulations. What are they going to say about me? I felt like I haven't been tested or tried for the position that I'm in. That's what I feel like. For the position that I'm in, I don't feel like I've been tested and tried, and maybe even feeling deserving of the crown. So the hand comes back and says, sir, you have kept King Jaehaerys' legacy, that, you know, you have kept the peace, and that was his legacy. That's what he wanted, for peace to be kept, and you've kept up that legacy. And believe me, the people who have gone through trials and tribulations wish that they hadn't. And the king's like, yeah, you're right. I should just let that go. And I think he should let it go too. But to me, I think he feels like that because he knows people don't respect him. But I don't think because he hasn't been tried I don't think that's the reason people don't respect him, because he hasn't been tried or got defeated or conquered or anything like that. I don't think that's the reason why they don't respect him. They don't respect him because of the choices he's made. Bad choices and choices against what people have advised him to do as well. But no one respects him, because every time he says Rhaenyra is his heir, people don't believe it. Number one. Number two, Corlys made him walk. First of all, he made him sail to Driftmark. And that shouldn't even have happened, but he did. He made him sail there. Then he made him walk all the way to the throne room. Then he made him, compromise on succession. And we already know Corlys don't respect him. A lot of people don't. Daemon don't respect him, because Daemon knows, I can do whatever I want, and my brother is not going to do anything. He's not going to punish me in any way, especially when the rumor went around about him and Rhaenyra. And he don't play about Rhaenyra. All he did was banish him. But does that stop Daemon? No. So, to me, I wouldn't care about if people sing songs about you, because you won't be able to hear them. You're dead. You won't be able to hear them. So the next scene, we see people starting to come for the royal wedding celebrations. Everybody's traveling to King's Landing to come be a part of Laenor and Princess Rhaenyra's wedding. So when the royals start arriving, they're being announced, the Lannisters, the Hightowers, the Royces, and Jason Lannister then comes up to the head table. So at this time, only people sitting there is the king and the princess. He comes up to the table, congratulates the princess, and then he points out, oh, where's the queen? The queen's not, where's the queen? And they're tired of him. The king and the princess is tired of him. So he says, oh, the princess is still getting ready. She's still getting ready. She not done yet. And then we start hearing drums. And I'm like, okay, it's the Valyrians. So the black folks had to be announced with drums. They showed up late. And they came with every single family member for that free food for 7 days. I'm like, just like black folks to come in late and coming in, stylish. They all look so good. Coming in stylish and to drums and all that. And I was like, black folks. So anyways, they end up being announced and stuff like that. And, also being seated at the head table. So Laenor grabs Rhaenyra's hand. They're betrothed and they do a dance. Music starts and they do a dance by themselves. After their dance is over, or while the dance is going on, his boyfriend, Laenor's boyfriend Joffrey, sees Sir Criston Cole, and the way he is looking at Rhaenyra, he knows or has figured out that is Rhaenyra's boy toy. So, after they're done dancing, everybody else gets on the dance floor, the music's going, but he comes up to Laenor and says, hey, I figured out who Rhaenyra's paramour is. It is Sir Criston Cole, because he's ussy whooped. He look ussy whooped. And then Joffrey made the biggest mistake of his life by going over there to talk to Sir Criston Cole about knowing, hey, hey, I know that I know that you're getting it on Rhaenyra, and I'm getting on with Laenor, and we can be their sworn protectors, and we can love them and keep each other's secrets. So he's saying that in a way of a threat as well, and he does not know everything that has gone on with Sir Criston Cole. He does not know what has gone on, and Sir Cole ain't taking it. He's not taking it well. He's already been disrespected, or not disrespected, hurt by the response of Rhaenyra. He's already hurt about, mad about soiling his cloak by, sleeping with Rhaenyra and messing up his honor and duty and all that. He already feel a way about that. And he feel a way about the queen knowing what happened between him and Rhaenyra as well. And now we got this punk that figured out, I'm sleeping with the king. He's about to pop. Sir Cole's about to pop. So we then see who comes? I think Daemon. Who comes in first, Daemon or the queen? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, so Daemon walks in. Dead silence. No music for him. No announcements for him. Dead silence. He comes up to the front of the table, greets his brother with a nod, and then the king summons a seat for Daemon to sit down. Oh boy. So then, the woman in the beginning, which is Daemon's wife, Rhea Royce, I believe that's her name, cousin, Gerald Royce, comes up to the table and accuses Daemon of killing his wife. And he's like, who are you? Who are you? He's like, I'm your wife's cousin. That's who I am. And I'm accusing you of killing her. And just to let you know, we don't care if you're Targaryen or not. We carry out justice in the Vale. I believe he said that, in the Vale. I'm not sure. We carry out justice in the Vale. But Daemon got him together by saying, well, me and Lady Royce didn't have any heirs, and because she's gone, and that means I get her inheritance, and she's supposed to inherit Runestone, something like that. So I will be coming up there. I will be pulling up after my niece's wedding to get the claim on what is owed to me through inheritance. And that shuts Sir Royce up. And it's like, he's like, and to me, he's like, I better not see you there, because I'm going to kill you. That's what I took. If I see you there, you're dead. So this brother steps down and go back to his seat. That's a smart man. But I don't know how smart it was to even approach him. So after that, the king has everybody sit down, and he starts talking about how the Targaryens and the Valerians are, old allies, and they're going to come together and, it's going to be strong, and we're going to be ruling with dragons. And in the middle of his speech, Queen Alicent is at the door, not a word said, not music or nothing playing, just stood there for a second where everybody could see her stand up. Then she walks down her aisle, and she turns to the left to greet her family of Hightowers in their green, in which she's wearing green. And then we hear from the Hand Sons that when the Hightowers is trying to declare war, their beacon goes off green, and she's wearing green. So she makes her way up to the head table and approaches, not approaches, and greets Rhaenyra with, "Oh, greetings, stepdaughter." Usually she calls her Rhaenyra, but she chose violence today. Queen Alicent chose violence that day. So she said, "Greetings, stepdaughter," and came give her husband a kiss on the cheek, and she sat down and ignored him the whole time. Disrespectful. He's just being disrespected all around. She came in the middle of his speech, and he had to get back on track, saying, "Hey, we're going to make our union strong, our union strong." He finished his speech, then everybody starts dancing again. Finished his speech, everybody started dancing again. And then what happened? Oh, Rhaenyra was dancing with the strong hand son. I think their last name is Strong, and I don't know if there's something going on there, but Daemon interrupts them, and he's like, "Oh, you're going to be bored with Laenor. You're going to be bored with her." And she said, "Well, do something about it. Kill who you need to kill. Take me to Dragonstone and make me your wife. If you feel a certain way, do something about it, sir." And he grabs her face to look like he is going to kiss her, and a commotion happens. A fight breaks out. We don't know who's fighting. We don't know. We don't know who's fighting. We don't know who's fighting. But we see Laenor push Sir Criston out the way, and Sir Criston gets up, push him back, and hit him. I think he hit him, but he's got Laenor's boyfriend on the ground, pummeling Joffrey. He just got him on the ground, pummeling him. Joffrey pulls out this weak knife, like this man don't have a whole bunch of armor on, and that he don't have like 20-30 pounds on you, sir. You pulled a knife out to a gunfight, and his fist was the gun. And he just got that knife out of here, kept pummeling him. Laenor was trying to get back to him, and it looked like one of the Lannister people pushed him up against pushed Laenor on the table to be like, not trying to interrupt the fight or being haters or whatever. I don't know. They still jealous that a Lannister wasn't chosen to marry Rhaenyra. Who knows? But we get back to Sir Criston beating the heck out of him, and he's finally done. He gets up, and we see the left side of Joffrey's face is just crushed. His skull and everything is just crushed. That man is dead. That man is dead. No one even stops Sir Cole. They just stand there watching. So once Laenor sees that, he's dead, he lets out this, wail. And I'm like, dude, y'all so obvious with these secrets. It's ridiculous. And of course he's dead. Then we hear someone talking, and it's basically the preacher marrying them then and now. Nobody's there but the parents. Nobody's there but Rhaenyra, Laenor, his parents, her dad and Alicent, the hand, and the preacher, and the blood of Joffrey still on the ground. Those are the only, and the rat that was drinking the blood. Those are the only people in there. Not even extended family was there at the wedding, but obviously the king said, "We're doing this tonight. we're doing this wedding tonight, bump 7 days from now. We're doing this wedding tonight. And Laenor, nose bleeding, distraught over his lover, can't even fake a kiss to give Rhaenyra about time it's time to kiss. He's just saying the vows because he's saying them. And we see the king pass out once again. I was hoping he's dead, but he's not. He's still not dead. This guy's kept taking the licking and keep on ticking every episode. But anyways, to get to the point, then we see Sir Criston Cole outside. Probably took him a half hour to an hour to take all that daggone armor off so he can jerk himself. And before he does it, the Queen Alicent says, Sir Criston. And that's it. That's it. Now, my theory, like I said, I've never read the books in my life. I don't know what happened, but here's my theory about why Queen Alicent basically stopped Sir Cole. Here's my theory. My theory is she stopped him because she wants him to continue to have a sexual relationship with Rhaenyra. First of all, I believe she believes that probably Laenor is never going to touch her now. First of all, because her lover killed your lover. Second of all, he probably won't get punished for killing him. He probably won't get punished at all for killing him. And to me, he's going to hold that up probably against Rhaenyra and not want to fulfill his royal duties by sleeping with her. I don't know if he's going to find another lover, but I doubt it. So here's my theory. Rhaenyra is going to continue to sleep with Sir Cole. She's going to get pregnant, and the kids will be Sir Criston Cole's. They will be his kids. And I believe Alicent is gonna wanna, kind of maybe not thought of that per se, but she knows they're going to continue on a sexual relationship, and you cannot choose who you have a baby by. So she's going to end up being pregnant, and I believe that when it comes time, for her kids to rule or something, that Alicent is going to probably claim that her kids are, bastards. They're not from Sir Laenor. And how are they going to know that they're not Sir Laenor's kids? The same reason we found out how Joffrey Baratheon wasn't Robert Baratheon's kid. Her kids is going to come out with dark hair like Sir Criston Cole instead of the white hair Targaryens / Valerians of like Laenor. I believe the Targaryen man would have the dominant hair gene because Aegon, Alicent's son, has the hair of his father, which is, the king. Like I said, what Cersei had, her kids had the hair of their father, Jaime Lannister. And we went through that book about, the Baratheons black of hair. And we're going to see her kids black of hair and not Targaryen white. Valerian white. So, I don't know, I could be wrong, but that's what I think is she's going to assume that Laenor is not going to want to do his duties because his lover is dead by Rhaenyra's lover, especially, and that he didn't get he probably won't have any type of repercussion for killing Joffrey, and that he's going to hold that against Rhaenyra. So, thank you. I know this this video was long, but I would like some feedback, and depending on how this video goes, I may do the first 4 episodes and or continue the rest of the making videos for the rest of the episodes as well, just depending on your feedback. Please be positive, nothing negative, but if it's criticism, I'm not opposed to criticism. I just do not want negativity. Criticism is different than negativity or speaking negative about someone. So I appreciate it. This is your girl, Queen J. Shanae. Thank you, my darlings. Please like, comment, subscribe, share if you like, and have a blessed day.